Spring is a season of flowers, and autumn is a season of solid fruition. Seeds put into the earth in the fields will grow and multiply endlessly, providing the humanity with the power of keeping alive. Just as behind every good kid is a great mom, and behind increased output is a good seed. This farming proverb that has been spreading extensively in China reveals in pure and simple terms the secret of a seed for a good harvest.
一粒两种，千里好粮。
好种育好苗，好苗长好稻。
要想庄稼好，种子要撒好。
Wheat ears are getting full when the solar term of green buds arrives. In early summer, the winter wheat ears are filling up full in the major wheat-producing area of Hebei and are stepping into the last full grain and ripening stage. On a summer night, a sudden rainstorm made the farmer in Zhoujiazhuang Township, Jinzhou City, Han Zhengqi, worried very much. No sooner had it been done than he was already at the wheat seed breeding field.
西话说，麦稻一把草，谷稻一把糠。麦手掐特别跑，小雨刮风，这一到了一年的是心血白干了。
Wheat breeding specialist Guo Jingkao is also worried about this piece of wheat field.
你好，郭老师过来了。好多地方都麦子倒了，我看你们的小麦还是没倒好。这个麦子为什么不倒啊？我给你拔下来，你看看啊。第一个，你看杆儿很糙，重心下移，杆儿很抗倒性好。再一个呢，还是杆儿很硬，你看你往你念念。
In the autumn of 2022, Han Zhengqi made a bold decision to plant all his 700 mu of land with a new variety bred by a team led by Guo Jingkao. After returning from Zhoujiazhuang to the research base, Guo Jingkao went direct to the experimental field to see how the wheat breeding materials perform.
是17号那天暴风骤雨，很多品种都发生大面倒伏，马兰1号几乎没倒伏，所以深受农民的欢迎。
Seed selection is like panning for gold in the sand. Scientists carefully select and pair the seeds from their paternal and maternal lines. Reap as one has sown. The genetic mystery has long been unveiled by simple farming proverbs created by our ancestors.
好的基因充足以后，我们做杂交以后，要在田间一代一代的选择，来选择呢，首先是抗倒的，第二是抗旱的，第三是抗病的。
Ample manure and frequent watering ensure good harvest, even without the efforts by man. This farming proverb used to be the best treasure book for growing wheat on the North China plain. But how Hebei, a water-short province, ensures a good harvest with less water? This has become the focus of Guo Jingkao's research in recent years.
小麦呢又是用水大户，它是怎么合理的利用自然降水，也就是说让每地水生产更多粮食。
In order to find the most drought-resistant seed, Guo Jingkao has turned his eyes to a weed that has an extremely big surviving ability. He extracted his drought-resistant gene and developed a new variety, known as Malan No. 1, thus resolving this worldwide problem of drought resistance and water efficiency of wheat. in the Zero Water Experimental Field at the Malan Research and Development Base. An excavator is beginning to explore into the secret of water-efficient wheat.
来，咱们看一下这个节水小麦马兰1号的根系到底有多深。2.4米的地方还能看见小麦的根系。这个品种啊，它的根系很发达，因为它能吸收这个2米以下的这个降水的储水层的水，减少那个灌溉用水。
说在我们过去啊，河北省的小麦啊叫5、6水，而现在也都是叫2水左右。但是我们小麦产量比那时候翻了一番。
Select the seeds according to the conditions of the field and grow wheat according to the types of seeds. Water-efficient and high-yielding wheat from Hebei has taken roots in 7 other provinces and cities. Once known as a water-intensive crop, it has now become a vanguard in saving water. In 15 days, the solar term of grain in ear has arrived. Grain in ear is a busy period when wheat is gathered on the threshing ground. Wheat harvesting begins in Hebei. Combined harvesters are moving northward, bringing about one surprise after another. In the breeding fields of Zhoujiazhuang, farm specialists are assessing the real harvest. A grain of fine seed may yield 1,000 grains of good crop. Over the past 50 years, Guojing cow has bred 33 wheat varieties, breaking one high-yielding record after another.
龙生龙，凤生凤，好种才能多打粮。也就是说，让我们中国人的饭碗装满中国粮。
From the days of not having enough to eat to the days when China's total wheat output ranks first in the world, the patch after patch of golden wheat fields has shown the veins of China's grain production. A field of wheat is undulating in the summer wind, and every grain is garnered to the barns, making billions of Chinese people secure of their food supply. On the other end of food security is a field of rice undulating in the summer wind, sending out fragrance of rice flowers. Food is the paramount necessity of the people, and rice is the primary food source. In the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze River, where there's a web of rivers and lakes and the soil is fertile, rice has made the biggest contributions to humanity. More than 10,000 years ago, people of the Shangshan culture began to domesticate and cultivate rice. With passing of the times, the Chinese people have expanded the rice families and increased their output. As the solar term of summer solstice arrives, in the country's leading rice-producing province, Hunan, early rice is growing luxuriantly with the light yellow flowers blooming under the sun.
早上呢，今天我们主要的任务就是把这个做几个杂交。
At 10 o'clock a.m., at an experimental field of the Hunan Hybrid Rice Research Center, a hybrid operation is going on in the race against time.
这是我们副本，然后下面这是母本，然后2个的这个副本的花粉落到这个母本上面，然后母本就结实。
As it is extremely sensitive to temperature and humidity, the flowering time of rice is mainly concentrated in the first 2 hours before noon. Today, Li Jianwu has to complete nearly 40 cases of hybridization. Hybrid rice is a gift the Chinese people present to the rest of the world. The 37-year-old Li Jianwu used to be the youngest member of the team, headed by academician Yuan Longping and one of the leaders in high-yield hybrid rice research. If you work hard enough, gold will grow out of the land. China's rice breeding specialists have closely followed the implications of farming proverbs and worked endlessly into depth. From the 3-line breeding system to the 2-line breeding system to super rice, they have been breaking the limits of ultimate capacity of one generation after generation of hybrid rice.
我们的第3代杂交水稻连续2年突破了双季亩产1500公斤的一个产量目标，就意味着我们每亩田可以养活5个人。
哎，烈士好，
王队好，
麻烦看一下这个是什么原因？
这是虫吗？哦，不像啊，它应该是飞虱传的那个艾滋病了。打了药之后把飞虱打住了，才能够繁殖下来。这个田是谁的？是农牧是的吧？
农牧的。
它秧嘞。
Rice production requires 30% cultivation and 70% management. Field work is like wielding an embroidery needle. From sowing, seedling nursing to transplanting and harvesting, every step has to have the best cultivation techniques best suited to the new varieties so as to lay a solid foundation for large-scale popularization.
我有2个梦，第一个梦就是禾下乘凉梦，第2个梦就是杂交水稻覆盖全球梦。
Seeds sow hopes, and seed breeders have their dreams relayed from generation to generation.
中国有句谚语：“单丝不成线，独木不成林。”我希望通过分享杂交水稻的技术和经验，让更多的种植户提高杂交水稻产量，来实现严老师的禾下乘凉梦。
This tiny rice seed from Hunan has now been sown to a wider area of the planet, bringing the hope of food self-sufficiency. This is a Malagasy banknote with the biggest denomination. On it is printed, with the design of hybrid rice bred by Yuan Longping. In Madagascar, the average yield of hybrid rice bred with Chinese technology is 2 or 3 times that of local varieties.
我们要把杂交水稻种到更多的地方，实现严老师的杂交水稻覆盖全球梦。
A crop seed may change the world. On the world's rice landscape, China's total rice output comes on top. Of the 10 bowls of rice produced in the whole world, 4 come from China.
如果杂交水稻能推广到全世界水稻面积的1半，全世界每年增产的粮食就可以多养活4到5亿人。
After 1 grain of seed is sown, 10,000 grains of seeds would be garnered to barns. This is the infinite yearning for a good harvest of the Chinese people. Having food in hand, one would not be flustered. This is the inner strength for holding fast the Chinese rice bowl. No matter how deep the wheat seed is adamantly taking roots in the soil, or how the rice seed is multiplying in the worm and the vast paddies, just like the Chinese farming proverbs that have been passed on from generation to generation. It is writing stories about the Chinese people and their crops that live and multiply endlessly.